Okay, so what I'm going to show today is what I've been researching with the Autopy feature. Okay, so we go to import, we're going to do this player mesh, and here we go. Go away. Okay, now for my mesh, for some reason I have to put it at no less than 300. I'm probably going to try and put this time, I'm going to put to about 500, because I wasn't getting exact. I can't unfortunately go that high, because that'd be 6,000 quads, which is way out of my budget. So 2,000 is all I can afford. Smoothing, I'm going to put that to 0 because I don't need it to smooth anything as far as I'm aware. Close that off. Now here I put this up to 6. Let's zoom in. So the concept behind what I've been researching is that when you use the orange rings, as pointed out to me by another awesome user, they cause problems. So to avoid using the rings, I'm going to limit how strong that is there, and I will draw my rings using density mount. That didn't work too well. So let's just give it a little bit more strength so I can see what I'm doing, and there we go. We draw our ring around, and of course I don't have symmetry on, so yeah, you want symmetry on the x-axis, and I usually just hide that because it doesn't really help. There we go. So I might just undo, and we'll start from a clean slate with proper symmetry on, and there we go. Awesome. Okay. Now the next part you want to do is you want to locate where your arm seems to go. So I'm going to put a bit more brightness that way and tone down that one a little bit. Okay, so in this case here, I think I want the seam to run around there, so I'm just going to go straight around. There we go. And again, you'll want one here. And you'll want one here. And now I'm going to do 2 in here. I'm going to do 1 here. This camera doesn't like to rotate properly, but that's okay. There we go. And I'll put one in nice and close to here. This will just give us a well-established wrist area, as this is where there's going to be a fair bit of bending on the model. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to change our brush size and density. Just rotate, thank you. So let's go up to here and let's bump that right up. Now we're going for hardcore density just on here. The reason why I'm doing this is I want it to definitely make sure it reaches the fingertips. I don't want those kind of problems. So that's kind of got that nice and crisp. Oh, and you'll notice I'm using this tool here, that brush, to paint that. Now, I've tried doing a large gap there and it didn't seem to handle that well, so I'm going to go in a bit tighter this time around. and give it just a small amount of gap, so it can figure out what it wants to do from the flat, but it knows it's definitely going to have to connect. Now we do the same thing that you'd normally do for the face, nothing special here. A really good high density in this area. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Because you want the face area to have good density. Now let's go to the waist area. Now this part caused a few problems before, so I need to analyze what I did a bit better. Now I'm going to assume that what I want to do is I'm going to draw some density in here, because you want that, and then I want some density in here with my mesh, so it knows it's going to have to do something to get that density there. Now what it'll usually do is, if it's not a circular ring, it will place some awkward topology around, so we are going to make that circular, because it's going to want to connect between these density points. Okay, let's go down a bit lower here, and again we will want to show it to do, just gonna control to get rid of that bit, bring that around, and there we go. Not going to be too thorough here, and just quickly around there on the leg. So the reason why we're doing all this is because if you've used the Autopy tool, it in its current state, it provides spiraling edge loops, which is literally one of the worst things you can get for retopology. And it's not what we want. Okay, and around the ankle. Now I tried to do a circle last time here and it didn't work well, so I'm going to paint a small cap that I want it to connect up to. And as for these toes, last time I had the same problem I had with the hands, so I'm going to do hard stroking in here to make sure we get that definitely covered. We don't want no half done toes. Just undo that and change it. You gotta watch your projection with this. Sometimes if your circle goes outside of the mesh area, it can hit stuff way behind it, and it just adds a light brush stroke to it, which can cause some problems. So I'm trying to be careful not to do that. Okay, that's got that. And now I'm going to give it one light looping through here. Maybe a little harder than that. That's better. Okay. So I'll just zoom out so you can see what we've got in total. We have loops there, loops there. Now I'm going to go to next, and now it's going to get me to want to draw in my stuff. You want to avoid at all costs using completed closed circle shapes, otherwise you will get problems. So we're going to draw around the face area here first. Not going to close that. That's pretty good actually. I might just change that a little bit there, move it in a bit closer. I've also found doing a double circle can help. You've just got to get those end points to line up right. So we're going to bring this guy to here and bring that into there. nice and close. Now I might try and do that again. So let's go around. Don't mind my wobbly little mouse. There we are. I'll try and get these points to roughly sit in alignment as well. Not that I think it's going to make a world of difference, but it can't hurt. I mean, there's going to be extra points, so go figure. But that might help just to solidify that circular edge looping, and it'll probably brow at that point there. Again, here we want a straightish loop that comes in, and you want your mouth loop like so. Now what I found was a problem here is that doing too many extra details at this point can break down things. So at this point here I'm going to start by doing, and you'll see the symmetry barrier, that's why I stopped there. So I'm going to come around to here, but I'm not going to finish that one off, and I think I'm going to leave that, and hopefully it'll come out with something good. I say hopefully because I haven't tried that kind of technique yet. Okay, what we're going to do here is I'm going to start inside of these patches and draw between patchings so that it knows I want it to connect along those patch lines. And these are where I want some seams to go. So we're trying to establish here that we want that circular sort of shape. Yeah, it's in there, that's okay. Might put one more in. There we are. Okay, now let's do these hands. Now last time I tried to draw square hands, like 2 strokes per finger. This time I'm going to try and just do 1 stroke per finger. Although that kind of implies we already know what's going to happen, so no. No, I want to do my 2 strokes, but I'm not going to try and be quite as accurate as last time. Just move them across to there, and to there. I'm doing the underside of the finger, and I will go on to the top as well. Just so that there's no confusion, it knows exactly what's going down. The problem last time was I may have tried to do intersecting guidelines, and I think it doesn't like being told what to do, because it did not work well. Okay, let's quickly do that. Drag that one in. Yep. And just these 2. Okay. Now I'm going to come around to the top, and I'm not going to connect them up because I don't want them to be circular loops as such. So this is the trickiest part. It's doing a second set. Okay, we wanted to start here. As long as the end tips don't go too close, it usually doesn't connect up. And as long as your start points aren't near the other ones, you can normally get away with that too. There we go. Oh, see. I had to stop it over there so it's not quite in alignment, and then I'll carefully nudge it across. That's kind of more what I had in mind. Oh, I thought there was something weird going on there. Undo. There we are. Okay. No. No. let's try go from this side. Yeah, I'm not actually sure if this thing remembers the direction in which you started drawing them. I'm hoping not. Okay, so that's got your hand on, and then you do the same deal for your toes, probably. I say probably because I'm not 100% sure about that. Now, for the stroking here, we've got 4 there, so I want to guide it to go down from this one all the way down to there. That will be awesome if it can do that. For a seam, and we'll do just 1 through here, straight down the back of the leg, and we'll do 1 at the front running past the abs, and then straight down. And we didn't connect up, and we ended up in the, well, almost in. Sort of make sure it's right inside of those patches. I don't know, it's probably a superstition, but it just makes me feel a little more comfortable about that. Okay, I'm going to do 1 through the middle inside of the leg, and it's going to be wonky because I'm trying to get around past that. Up we go, there we are. That's probably a little more dense than I wanted, so I'm going to change the density for this to about 75. I'll just drag up to meet that. Oh, what? Oh boy, that's awesome. Let's go 25. Okay, and now we're in the final little bit. Just down here, we are going to do, and for these, because these are toes, no one's going to really care too much. So, as long as you start in 1, finish in 1, start in 1, finish in 1, start in 1. I like to draw a straight seam down the foot, just because it seems to be nicer, though I'm a little worried it's going to cause some difficulties. We'll connect that to there. We'll probably want that a bit higher normally. Go back up to 100. Okay, and there we have it. So you can see the fingers and that body part. Now you're probably thinking, why hasn't he done anything here? Well, it's because that area was a problem area last time when I tried to fill in the gaps, so I'm hoping that by not filling in the gaps, we get a better result. Okay, let's see what we get. Now it's going a little bit slower, which is likely due to the fact that I'm recording this. Hopefully it's not actually crashing. Awesome. Sometimes it can crash in there and it can be a little problematic. Okay, let's have a look at what we got. A little odd, probably should have done something in there, but that's not so bad. You can always use the relax brush to smooth that out a bit more if you want to later on. Though you can see where it's gripped in really tight around each of those rims. Down on those toes, we've got some seemingly really good lineage going through there. It's definitely captured the toes like I hoped it would. Bit of a little vertice thing here, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you try and keep that a little bit tidier looking. It doesn't really matter. What I might do is I might just turn off the undermesh so you can see the topology. Now that looks like spiral, classic spiraling there. I use my split rings usually, and that shows me what we're dealing with. If you get it right, yeah, spiraling. Bad spiral, bad. And then it sort of fixes itself up. So the foot area needs a bit of work. Obviously the technique I tried then didn't work, and it's likely to do with this fella. Going underneath, it has no idea what it's doing. Yeah. Okay. These ones here, though, gave no spirals, which is something new to me. That's quite clean. Look at that. Clean, clean, very clean. And you'll see it follows this same sort of pattern then. We've got the crease mark in there where we wanted it. It's running right down those arm lengths, which I think is a good sign. I think that shows we're not going to get spiraling in the arms. Wow. That's cool. We may have some problems here at the fingers too, if we had spiraling elsewhere. Yeah. So there's something that I'm doing wrong in the hands. Oh no, well, right there, we've got one good loop right in the middle. And then it sort of goes all pear-shaped again. But then the fingertips, you know, they're all looped really nice. No spirals. So there's some good stuff in here, and there's some iffy stuff. Now let's look at the face. Let's see what we got. Okay, so you can see that the loop goes around the eye. You got that circle, and that's a broken loop there, but not sure how to fix that one. But yeah, you know, I mean, you've got this good circular ring that goes around there, and that there seems a little broken. You'd probably manually want to redo the face, so I'd probably just break it out and do it if you were serious about doing some face animation. Definitely. But look at that, you know. That's nice. And it follows that out. Let's look at the neck, because the neck is crucial. I like to know that you can get one good ring around, loop around the neck. The reason for it is that often you will want to put a seam through there, or animate that neck area and make sure that it's not going to break apart. Now that's actually, I couldn't ask for a better topology, like retopology there. That's pretty good. Maybe this here a little odd, though it is a join, and we do at least have our nice neck seam, one and then one. So it's not the end of the world. Well, that's come out roughly how I expected it should have. And yeah. Hopefully you guys are able to sort of point out where I can improve this technique, and what areas you saw were good and which parts, yeah.